Welcome to The Chosen One. I'm your host, Qui-Gon Din, and today we are going to start a new series. This is going to be a vlog series. I got like an hour to kill on my way to work, so I figured I'd do a new series. This is going to be called Shatterthoughts. If you would like to message me, you can hit me up on Discord. Qui-Gon Din is my handle. Or, you could just leave a comment on any of the Shatterthought videos that I put up, and I will answer them in the following Shatterthoughts video, which you can expect 4 or 5 of these a week. So it's just going to be a vlog series on any given subject that I feel about talking about, and they're going to be more short form content. I'm not big on the long form content of trying to make everything a podcast episode. So as you know, my channel is a bunch of short form stuff about Unit 101. So, the shatter thought that I am having today is Riff Tamson. LVO is concluding. Riff has made both first and second place showing, regardless of the winner. We got Chris Sampson versus Donovan, and they both have been playing Riff Tamson during the event. Riff Tamson has been consistently getting 1 or 2 lists into top cut of every GT since his release. So Riff Tamson thoughts. Is he meta? At this point, I would safely say yes. I think Riff Tamson is very much a meta contender, and he has already proven himself. He is doing very well at the event. He's actually doing about on par with events as Jin is. Jin has not blown GTs out of the market where everyone's taking Jin. She is a pairing that you do with Andor, and the Jin Andor pairing makes top cut every once in a while. She's been doing very well. But Riff has been doing just as well in terms of how much top cut he is seeing. So, do I think that Riff is as good as Jin? I think the answer to that is yes. The fact is, LVO, Riff had an insanely strong run, and it is cool. I can't wait to see the final match actually play out when I get the time to watch it. But the strengths of Riff Tamson are he adds more value to your support activations. When you look at supports like Aqua Droids, Weequay Pirates, Baze and Churret, Han and Chewie, any scoundrel support or separatist support gets immediately better by having Riff Tamson in your list. And while the separatist supports are kind of middling, minus the Aqua Droids, I'll give you a brief synopsis on my thoughts on Aqua Droids after I finish talking about Riff. Riff is making it to where, as long as he's awake, your supports basically have an extra body they can move during their turn, and that's really potent to have on a primary. Most of the time, it's generally Republic secondaries that get the additional movement tech from supports. I'm looking at Rex, looking at Ahsoka, and those plays are very powerful, but they have a range limit and you have to be within 3, so the amount of impact you can do with those activations is still not what Riff is doing. Riff is being this piece that can really impact points and just really impact places on the board. It's not always about the attack. Sometimes it's about bodying a point or getting up on an elevation to do things. It is very cool. It is very powerful, and the fact that they left it really open to where you play him in terms of he doesn't have to jump towards the unit that was attacked. He can do all of this stuff. It's very versatile. I think a lot of people slept at Riff at the beginning, but I now can safely say Riff is not something to be slept on anymore. He is very much a meta contender. That gets me onto Aqua Droids. There's this big debate about aqua droids. Are they good? Are they average? Are they just not great? I'm gonna say it. Aqua droids are probably better than Han and Chewie. This may be a hot take, but Han and Chewie have play patterns where you have to really pick and choose parts of their kit to activate, and the second they go down, they start to get really limited in where that you can play them on the capacity. Pinning them also really hurts them, as again, the way that their play pattern is, one gets to dash, then you got to try to use the other one as a combat action so that you can get the reposition. You're spending 2 force to do these plays. Aqua droids are on a big base. They get a dash and a focus off of their force ability. They hit like a truck, and the dash on them gets them further than other dashes would because they are that 50 mil base. They are the first 50 mil base unit outside of Grievous that can fully take advantage of it, where they feel like they're actually really strong right now in the current game frame. Aqua droids don't look flashy on paper, but when you start playing them on the table, you'll start to see the results. So very much keep them in mind, and you don't even need to run that many separatists to make them good. The Riff box plays by itself, and you are just playing that with the scoundrel base on the other side. Riff Mando, which this list has already proven itself, it has several GT tops at this point, is the Riff box straight up, and Mando Dengar Weequay Pirates. And that list does a lot of work with the reserve mechanic. Dengar is making it that if you pull Mando too early, Dengar can flush him in reserve, which automatically sets up Nasarai to reserve himself over the Mando. And Mando can go at the bottom of your deck. There's a lot of reserve manipulation that you can do with that list to where your order deck is a lot more consistent than other order decks in the game. The fact that you can take out some of that variance in the order deck is one of the strengths of the list. The other strength of the list is that the Weequay Pirates and Dengar have a lot of health, decent defenses, and they have steadfast on points. Dengar just has steadfast with immunity to pin, so Dengar's going to get to where he wants to. Dengar doesn't cost you any force, which is going to be big for because you're running a 5 force list. And the Weequay Pirates hit surprisingly well while in melee, especially if you just keep them together, body a point, do their 6 die, which turn to 8 die attacks, and their tree is actually really good. A lot of good damage, a lot of good positioning power. If they get 3 steps in, they get a repo. So their play patterns are really good. Their offensive expertise also makes up for their lack of any synergy. They throw 6 dice, yes, but their 1 to 2 on an expertise gets you 2 hits, so the conversion is good. Riff Tamson is going to be a meta staple, I feel, for a while. You're not going to see him at the numbers that you're seeing Cassian or Boss, but expect 1 or 2 Riff lists in Top Cut for the go-seeing future. I think he is definitely a piece to consider if you learn how to play him. Since this game has now switched to supports need to pull more weight now than they did before, Riff is going to be one of those pieces to pay attention to.